Okay, so this is basically I try basically lay down a couple of rules for us, basically to not some suggestions more so than rules. I'm just gonna let you read through the first one, and I'll highlight anything that I think might be important. Okay, just one thing we'll be using is the red zone being our own half. Okay, and then arrows being another one are the first receivers who do not pass but run and target the gap in the defensive line behind the marker slash roll ball. I'll be talking more about that later on. And then basically that's what the first slide said, so you can just read that through that yourself. Okay, and next one. Okay, so just another couple of new language or new dictionary to it. So what we have is power plays are predetermined plays used to score tries in the green zone, which means on the goal line or the defensive half. Okay, and then we have so that's the power plays there. Okay, another one I want to talk to you about is roll on. Okay, it's when the attacking team has the upper hand and has the defense on the back foot, moving up the field quickly. So that's what we're going to be looking to do on the offensive set. Okay, and then defense. Okay, so they highlight defense and just a bit of a tagging technique, so you can just look up that there. Now there's one key point that I'd like to say is that what you want is don't chase from the marker position, drop back into your defensive hole. So just keep a note on that point there. Okay, now just some other ones. Okay, what I'd like to say is keeping width in the attack will help your attacking options. Narrow attack lines limit your chance. So remember, positive spacing with big passing to make the gaps on the defensive line in the opposite way. That's a very important point. And next very important point is always try and hold the ball in two hands for the following reasons. Ball usually doesn't drop. It puts doubt in the defense whether you're going to pass the ball or not. And then it's easier to pass quickly and overall considered to be the better ball control. Okay, general principles attack. Do not turn the ball over in your own half. Now this is something that's it's definitely going to have to be that way, especially when you're playing at a higher level. Basically, you just keep the plan really simple and going forward from your own half before you get more creative. Okay, always moving forward. That basically means not moving to the side, always straight forward. No Forrest Gump, I suppose is what they're saying. Do not overrun the tag. Anticipate and stop on the mark for quick roll ball or quick play the ball. Rapid power sets, organised plays to get out of your red zone. We'll talk about that later on. Another key point is sticking to the game plan. Tag is a team game. Don't try to do it all yourself. If the team has a plan, you stick to the plan. Overall, be better. If you're not the ball carrier, be an option for the ball carrier. Example: a support runner. It could be a dummy half for the next play that you're just tracking them for the roll the ball. Okay, and tag is a simple game. Most of all, it's a very simple game. Keep to the game plan with everybody singing the same hymn. Very important. Okay. Now, so they have some official tag positions that they want done. So this is defensive tag positions for men's Super League and men's Premiership 8-a-side. So this is 8-a-side, okay? So what they have here is a winger. So we have 4 in the middle, okay? And these are what are referred to as the middle players, okay? Then we have the 2 wingers on the outside, like usual, and it gives you a specific role of the winger, specific role, score tries. Defense, never leave the opposition wing unmarked. On yo-yo defense, which we'll discuss later on, never cross the middle axis. They're fast, good finishers, dive and score, safe hands, hold width and depth, driving out their own half. They also have a massive defensive responsibility for like covering back and making sure that there's no loose girl tries or anything like that. Okay, so they have a massive defensive responsibility on the wingers because they can look across the full line and they're able to tell if the line's in order and who needs to be marked. So it's very important role of the wingers, particularly on defense. Okay. Now tag links are the players that are inside, the wingers, and just outside the middle. Once again, you can either be you can be man or woman on this. Okay, it depends on what your skills are. You're similar to a rugby union centre / flankers, given options to our middles. Defence in between the wing and the shield on the D, on defence, and on sweeper defence, one link will act as a sweeper defender. Attack, you're fast, good footwork, constantly moving, creating options for middles, running angles, hitting holes, and driving out their own half. Now, we're going to talk about our 4 middles. Probably usually going to be 2 guys and 2 girls. Okay, so you keep that in the middle. Now, they have a very specific role, similar to rugby union, out half, scrum half, and playmakers. They're very fit, always involved in both defence and attack. Part of the shield of 4, exceptional taggers, good communicators. Attack, middles will orchestrate the power sets. This comes on with your arrow sets, your quick roll sets. From dummy half, and will be our decision makers, calling plays. They're great ball handlers, great passing game, good kicking game, and good peripheral vision. Okay, so let's get into when we're talking about 7-a-side, okay, the shield, the middles become 3. So what you have here is you're going to have 3 middles, and then you're going to have 2 links, and then after that you're going to have 2 wingers. So when you're playing 7-a-side games, you're going to lose a middle and you're going to have 3 middles to organise your power sets. In this case, the link might come more involved in the power sets as well. Okay guys, moving on. Now the shield defense, okay, is what they're saying. Now what was really emphasised is the fact that we do not want to be giving away gaps in the middle of the field. Okay, it takes longer for an attacking team to get around the wing, and it gives more time for your middle of your defence to recover and hold. So it's very important that the middle 4 are extremely organised and basically acting as one. They're basically tethered together, and we did basically drill as such where we were tethered together. Okay, our strongest form of D in all D sets will be our shield. This is used in all our defensive sets. The shield will control our defense in lateral movement left and right. So they're talking about a drifting system. So as the attackers get the ball out wide, okay, what's going to happen is the full system is all going to drift together, and these 4 act as one single unit. And the problem is, if these become more separated and the gaps become bigger, that's when problems arise. So it's very important that they're very much acting as one in the middle. Or likewise, when you're talking about 7-a-side, you're going to have these 3 in the middle, and they're going to act as one on the drift and always moving together. Okay, so next slide then after that, sweeper defense. Okay. Now in the case of the sweeper defence, one person from the shield who's using the shield goes back to be sweeper. The sweeper defender must defend a defensive line from the back, always being loud and communicating with other players. So basically the sweeper has overall a better view of the full picture. So for example, okay, if we were to set up a standard setup here, right, where we're going to have an attacking team on the top and a defensive team on the bottom. Okay, so we can see here is a standard 7-a-side pattern where each player has an opposite person to mark. Okay, now what's happening here is when play begins, what's going to happen is the ball is going to get thrown out. Now it's very important to happen is that the marker does not pursue the ball anymore. So what we're planning to do is the marker is going to fall back down into this position here. Okay, so even in the event where this dummy half does a loop, we're still matched on. The marker, there's still going to be 4 on 4 with the sweeper in tow. The sweeper will stay in the sweeping position, usually about 10-15 meters behind the line. This is to stop any kick throughs, okay? And the sweeper is going to track the defense. So the full set, everybody's going to drift, okay, as the ball goes out. And even with the marker, okay, being used, even with the dummy half looping around and being used, it's still 4 on 4. This is the advantage of pulling back the marker at the start. Okay, so let's go sweeper defense. Now this one here is called the yo-yo defense. Okay, it is only used in This is only used in the opposition's half and up to 20 meters inside our own half. Not near our own line, it isn't used anymore. We use yo-yo to defend kick moves and line breaks. The winger on the opposite side of the pitch will drop and begin to drift towards the middle of the pitch, but not past the middle axis. This is as to easily run back to his or her position. If the ball is quickly shifted back to the direction, then your wing does the same. So basically we have just communication if you're dropping, okay? Okay, so here we're replicating a rollback on a 8-a-side game. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, so obviously need an 8 player. This one here. Okay, so we're replicating a rollback on an 8-a-side game. So let's say the defense choose to go left. Okay, so what they choose to do is they choose to throw the ball, located in red, out to the left. Now what happens is you can do one of two things. You can put your winger, who's going to go, and the central axis is basically where the roll took place. Okay, so you're talking about this line down here, okay, and you're not really meant to go by that line. So what you can do is you can drift across and then assess the threat. Now you don't want to drift too far that basically you can't make it back to your defensive position if the offense decides to throw it out the other direction. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to tuck back in around the back and you're going to defend as covering any kick throughs. Okay, now there is other ways to go about doing this. Like, it doesn't have to be your winger. Okay, so for example, you could always just the link and the winger need to communicate which one's doing it. So in the case where the link is going out, the winger will push across into his or her position. Okay, and you got to remember, when the direction of the play shifts up, what's going to happen to this winger or link player is when they move down and all of a sudden the play shifts back, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to come back up into the position, okay, and be able to help out on defense. In the case that the attacking team switches direction and the ball is now over here, what's going to happen is the link and the winger on the other side are then going to also drift across in a similar manner. Okay, so now we're going to move on. That was the yo-yo defense, and now we're going to do the shooter defense. Now the shooter defense is set up, once again, everybody has something to mark. Now what we're going to do is we usually have our neutral, our player here. We're going to move this one here. Okay. Now in this case, this person here is communicating, basically telling the neutral player, look, if this comes over here, I'm going to shoot up and try and stop. It's usually used to stop quick rolls where the defense is in trouble, and what you basically want to do is you want to stop this player here in green from reaching the defensive line and taking the quick roll backwards for the next play. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to say, you're going to have a code word for shooting up. As the play develops, this person shoots up, and it's very important for the neutral player to come in and fill in that position. Once again, the dummy half, the marker is going to drop directly back into position, and you're not going to be chasing the tags. Okay, so this is another type of defense used to stop the quick roll play. Okay, now what we're doing next here is it's going to be the drive set. Okay, so the next one is the drive set. Okay, so the drive set is a set run from our middles at dummy half, getting links and wingers to take hard angled runs between two defenders and have them quick play the ball to create a roll on. Okay, so create a roll on. Now it's also getting other middles to do the same thing as well. So there's like example here. This might be a middle, and this could be your fourth middle, and then you have your link and your winger. Not necessarily in that order, it could be in any order, but we basically know what we're doing here. Okay, so what we're doing is a drive set. Okay, and what a drive set is otherwise known as push play. So what we do is we throw the ball out to the first player, he runs up, and this green player here gets tagged. And what's the job of the dummy half, once you make the pass, you track the player for the next roll. This player here stays deep, waiting for the next roll ball to happen, comes up, hits again, runs hard line into the defense. we're constantly causing the defense to reset, okay, and push backwards. They have to go back 7 meters each time. Great way to get over half. Now you can also alternate the position, okay, so for example you could also go left and right and cause the push plays either side. And what you do, if you keep doing left and right maybe 3 times in a row, you're going to tire out these middle 3 defenders. They're going to be very concerned, getting sucked into basically all the action. So if you go right once, and then this player here will have to cover left for the next one. So basically you're tiring them out in the middle, and then by the time you get them moving, it gives your link players and your wingers a lot more time, because usually when the defense is set, they can push up straight away. And what they can do is they can intercept us higher up the pitch and cause us to make mistakes, loose passes. But if they're still retreating when the next play begins, gives you a lot more time on the ball and enables you to be a lot more creative. Now, defenses will often try and stop quick rolls. But what they'll do is they'll try and get their dummy half and maybe their first player, or sorry, their marker and the first player to charge the first player, who'd usually be going up to take the tag in. So what we need to be aware of, and it's very much a role of the second receiver, right, is when they see this happening, they should call for the ball early. And in the event where you call for the ball early, this player then goes up, and now the person who throws the ball is now the new dummy half. And remember, there is an onus on all the players who aren't involved, is to get in positions and work hard off the ball for the next play. It's very important that people off the ball recycle in and hit the ball coming at pace. Passing the ball flat. So for example, if the tag was made here and this player is now on offense and you're flat with the dummy half for the next play, that's no good, because you're not gonna build up the speed for the next play. So you want to be coming from deep and hitting the ball hard. Okay. Now, next type of set is an arrow set. An arrow set is where we launch one of the attacking players from our dummy half. The aim is to target in behind the marker, alternating the positions left and right, driving until we're out of the red zone. So, for example, as the green player here, you're going to take you're going to take the ball a nice distance away, and you're going to charge in behind. Now, this is on the anticipation that the marker here isn't actually going backwards. It isn't going to be chasing the ball. Okay. Now, in the case where the marker does chase the ball, sorry, we won't go there. What we're doing is we're going to run in behind, and we're going to get tagged in here. Once again, the dummy half is going to run around, support the play, and then throw it out for the next arrow set. And what we're basically doing here is we're really targeting the middle and forcing the middle players back, or the shield back. And what we're doing is we're aiming to cause confusion. Now, where I found where this broke down was that when I was on an inward line and the marker just took a step across, I wasn't actually reaching the line. I was actually getting tagged before I even had any influence on the defensive line. In the case like this, you have two options where you could run a straighter line and then arc in at the last second. So run a straight line and then step in. And what this will do is try and attract 3 defenders to the one area. An alternative way to block that would be to do a different type of arrow set. The same arrow set, except the running back, you come in from deep, you're on your way in, the marker comes across and tries to tag you. What you then do is you then get you can get your dummy half, and you can pass the ball back into the dummy half, who's going to run a tight inward line just around the rollback because the marker is now gone. Okay, so this is another option you can do, and then you just continue on the same play, attacking in behind. Okay, so that's another way of once again hassling the defense and pushing them out of your own half and creating much more space in your for your next play. Okay, now. General attack weapons, we're all very familiar with the switch, where we have 2 defenders and we have a ball carrier. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to run in. The ball carrier is going to drift in like this on an arc and run. The hope is that this defender here will track in, and then this attacker here is going to cut across, receive the ball, and then just straight behind they do a switch pass straight through. Okay, it's very basic. Now, one that I really liked was the overs and unders. In the overs and unders, okay, it's a very interesting play. What you do is you get your ball carrier here to run straight up, and what this second receiver does is a mimicking run, where they mimic the ball carrier's movements, okay, and they're both here, okay. And what this third player is going to do is space out. So what they're doing is, if the third player is enabling a bigger gap between these two defenders, okay. And what they're going to do is, when you call an over last second, what's going to happen is, okay, so the next one is unders, okay. Unders is where the ball player, he comes up, drifts into the inside. Oh, sorry. Still haven't gone through this one yet. So this one here is the overs, and this player here is spaced on the outside. And basically what this player is going to do is going to come up, and this player is going to mimic his run. Then last second, just as he gets to the defender here, he's going to take a jink inside. And what you're hoping is to create doubt within this second defender's mind. And then just player can do a parallel jink. And then basically you can pass a lateral pass across and run straight through. Or alternatively, where this player doesn't bite a run and keeps on the player, you actually have a much larger gap, and you basically have created a one-on-one situation, which will be more successful than this player simply running in between two players on his own. Okay. Now the alternative to that is the unders, where the ball carrier runs straight up, and you come in here, once again this player mimicking, but mimicking at a depth of about 2 or 3 meters, okay. And then when this player pulls in left, this player will pull in left as well, and once again leaves open a pass for a clean run through, okay. And then you can also have this player coming in supporting from the wing. So the two options become available to the ball carrier. You can either fake and go through, or you can pass it in. Now the difficulty is performing a pop pass will run at pace against your direction of motion. Overs is probably the easier of the two play. Unders, I think, tends to be more successful. Okay. Now, coach and summary in total, what they basically told us, and some stuff we know really already. Okay. Even in our toughest tag game, we must never move away from our game plan. Game plan is everything. Nobody goes rogue. In training, repetition is the mother of all learning. You got to repeat stuff into the ground until you're ready. Perfect practice makes perfect. In defence, forward, middle, shield would be setting the standard in communication and hard work. Fitness great, tagging skills make our shield the current D. At half time, players we should talk at half time, communicate what we're doing, okay? And then that's basically it. Just don't deviate from the plan, okay? And that's it. Hopefully reasonably enough, 2.5 hours summed up in 20 minutes, I hopefully think.